What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the NRW Checkpoint with, your man about gaming, myself, WebsterStyle, the man, the voice of fragrance, and of course, I'm always joined by my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today, sir?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing good. I'm doing good. It's kind of a thin this week, but still some quality games are releasing. First up is, we're going to Baker Street with Sherlock Holmes, The Awakened, the remake on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, Switch, and PC. And it's an adventure game from Frogwares. Now, this is a remake of the classic 2007 PC adventure game featuring modern graphics and gameplay, all new mechanics, quest, and story content. So the game is a Lovecraftian adventure game that features Sherlock Holmes investigating a terrifying Cthulhu myths. The game will have a young Sherlock Holmes who will feel fear when encountering an entity from another world that defies logic.
Okay. Sherlock Holmes is a popular title. I'm pretty sure that game will do some kind of... Oh, it's a remake. Yeah.
I didn't even realize that this... because I've seen the other games that have come out, I guess, technically it's last gen. So I'm familiar with those, but I didn't realize that there was a game before those games came out.
Yeah, me either.
This is it.
Okay. Dope. Are we got a trailer for that? Yes, we do.
Yes,
okay,
we are watching a trailer for that one. So
cool.
Next up, I think we have a trailer for everything this week.
Okay.
That kind of week. So next up, we have a game that we saw, I think, last year at D23. And we didn't see too much. We just saw a little teaser trailer for it, and I was excited for it. I don't know if I'm as excited anymore based on what it is. When you hear this property, you think of some other things, but it's Tron Identity. It's coming out on the Switch and PC. Is a puzzle adventure game from Mike Berthel Games. So in this, Tron Identity is a visual novel following Query, a detective program tasked with uncovering the mystery of what was taken and by whom, finding yourself in a world built on unstable foundations and filled with whispered knowledge. It's up to you to question suspects and investigate your surroundings to piece together the truth. Now, I will say, I take back a little bit what I just said. That is a very interesting premise to have take place on the grid of Tron.
Yes, I can see that.
So a detective story, we go from Sherlock Holmes to Tron and Query in Tron Identity. I don't know. Interesting. I'm interested in looking forward and seeing the trailer for that.
Me too. Tron's having a exciting year today. They just recently opened a new roller coaster at Disney World. So I'm assuming this will have some sort of tie-in to that.
Who knows? See. Next up is a game that's already been out, came out last year on the PlayStation. Now it's making its debut on the Xbox Series systems, but also Xbox Game Pass, as well as, I believe, PlayStation Plus. If it's anything like its sister title, Deathloop is dropping on PlayStation Plus as well. It's Ghostwire Tokyo. It's an action game from Tango Gameworks and Bethesda Studios. So in this game, it's an action-adventure game played from a first-person's perspective. The player can use various psychic and paranormal abilities to defeat the ghosts and spirits haunting Tokyo. Combat director Shinichiro Hara described the combat as karate meets magic. That already sounds cool in my book. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, it definitely sounds cool to me. I actually think we talked about this game before.
Yes, when it came out last year.
Right. So now it's going over to
Xbox
Pass,
and more importantly, the subscription service is going to have it as well.
Right.
So even if you are a PlayStation 5 owner, or is it just 5 exclusive? I think it was just 5 owner, you hadn't picked it up. It's now on PlayStation Plus, and then obviously with that year deal that Bethesda had before Microsoft bought them, it has now come over to Xbox, and of course dropping day one on Game Pass. But the character utilizes hand movements inspired by Kuji Kiri hand gestures to cast spells. When an enemy loses most of their health, its core is exposed and the player can use takedown moves to destroy it. By defeating these spirits and collecting yokai, the character will collect spirit points and resources used to upgrade their abilities. So there's a lot going on in this game.
Yeah, but this was one of the ones I was excited about playing. I did, because I remember we talked about it, and they had just put out like a demo on on the consoles or whatever. I did play the demo. It's a good game, so hopefully I should have access. I should have access to this because I never got around to buying the full game, but it was cool.
Right. And last up this week, like I said, it's a short week this week. We have Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. This is on the PS4, Switch, and PC. It's an RPG from, of course, who else? Capcom. So in this, it contains 10 classic games from the Battle Network series. Mega Man Battle Network was a spinoff of a tactical RPG title of the Mega Man series. It takes place in an alternate timeline where scientific advancements is prioritized over robotics. So,
and I have played at least 2 of these games from this Mega Man collection because I don't know, as a kid, I was big like Mega Man kind of a person, and they had they kind of revamped the series. Mega Man been out for some time,
right?
So they had revamped the anime and like relaunched it for this whole Battle Network thing,
right?
That they're now, well, I guess it's how many years old at this point? Either way,
a long time,
right? Either way, this is a very, very cool collection coming to the consoles because they're pretty fun. I played 2 of them on Game Boy Advance. I remember that specifically because I had them daily.
This is a series I've never played, I think because they were pretty much on the Game Boys as well as, if I remember correctly, PlayStation.
Yeah, and they had some on the DS as well.
Okay, yeah. Even though I picked up a DS a year or so ago, it's not one of the games I wanted to play. And again, just because I wasn't familiar either. So be interesting to see, I guess, how much of a fanfare there is for this out in the gaming world. Not saying there wouldn't be, but it's just interesting to know because I don't know about you. I hear maybe some diehards talk about this series, but it's not one. I think it's more of has a very niche following in my opinion.
Definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if we got like some kind of movie or something soon.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, Capcom, they're doing their thing, so they can do no wrong right now.
Right. Especially after the Street Fighter 6 gameplay that just came out not too long ago. Yeah, it's looking good.
Yep. So, well, that's it for the games. That's the light week this week. Let's look at our first trailer, Tron Identity.
Okay. What is that part? I
wonder if you were creating the look of your player. So Query, you can make Query look like what you want him to.
That would be cool. They have some kind of customization like that.
That's very interesting. I don't know if I'm completely sold on it though. I think I love the aesthetic of Tron. The second Tron movie, I absolutely love it. I love the aesthetic that it created for the grid and how it evolved the grid from what we saw back in the early 80s. But I would have to actually play this game in a really good sense. I don't think the trailer did the game justice.
Me
And
either.
a game like this really comes down to the storytelling. And I don't know why I'm trying to remember the game on Xbox I played that was like that, but it was very compelling as far as sort of visual novel. You choose what happens, sort of thing. I don't know why it escapes me at the moment, but it was really, really good. This one seems like it's in the same vein, just that the trailer doesn't really present me with the sort of excitement that I would expect from a title of a Tron title.
Yeah, I mean, what do we do? What do we do in the game? Like,
right, exactly.
Are we going to be racing the light cycles, or
it's a visual novel, so I don't expect that. But still, a lot of those games, you're really built on the story, and the trailer itself, it didn't really convey like, hey, I want to know what this story is.
I agree. I can agree with that.
Again, I can only talk about the trailer, not about the game itself. So that's my take on it.
I agree. I mean, Tron Identity, I guess that's the premise of the game, figuring out your person's identity with the rest. I don't know. I didn't get much from it. But,
yeah, exactly. Like I said, it wasn't Disney, a great trailer.
Right. It's Disney and it's Tron, and it's coming to Switch and PC. So it'll do something somewhere. It's not sure.
Yeah,
it's a puzzle adventure. Okay.
Yeah. So, point and click, puzzle adventure as Dusk Falls. That's what I'm thinking of. Dusk Falls is the Xbox game I was thinking of.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the Switch is a good place to put a title like that and have it find its audience too, just because it is a user base with also depending on how much it costs. And I'm assuming I would assume Tron Identity is like a $29.99 or $39.99 game. I'm assuming. At that price point, that's pretty good for discovery. Just people discovering based off the IP alone.
I mean, but Disney and everybody, if y'all want to put it $19.99, $9.99, the trailer feels fitting. It's just a suggestion if y'all want to, because $29.49.
Nope. It is $14.99.
Okay, I can work with that.
Yeah, I can work with 15. That too.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Tron Identity.
Exactly. Next up, we have Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened.
Okay.
Me festering soul and let me feel. Free me festering soul and let me feel.
Okay.
Here, let me help.
Uh-oh.
Phantoms of nothing, we are born to die. Built in the eyes of our engines now.
Free my festering soul and let me feel.
Yeah, so Arthur Conan Doyle never envisioned this was Sherlock Holmes.
Like the way this looks.
What the hell were you doing? He almost killed you.
Did he?
I don't. You're right. Let's go, Watson.
Okay. Oh, Sherlock Holmes meets Lovecraft. Okay.
Yeah. Looks all right.
I'm not mad at that. Now, see, I want to understand what's going on with the story. It's as simple as that. The trailers it told me, hey, there's something here you need to pay attention to. And I'm like, okay, what is that? Don't know why we didn't get that from Tron, but
just that premise would make a really good movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's something there that's worth investigating. I like like I said, visually, it was looking great.
Yeah,
like
I wonder what it looked like before.
Yeah, record. It's a remake, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, remake. Okay, they did a good job. Yeah,
2007. So that's what PC era. So that's what Xbox 360, PS3 era games. And again, you still got some games from that era that look pretty doggone good. But
yeah,
I can imagine how a game like this looked back then, especially running on PC. And you got to think about the specs. And if you you skew for the lowest common denominator. Probably didn't look that great at times.
Right. Well, I like this remake though, and this would be a perfect game to like stream.
Yeah. Yes.
Pretty sure because all the puzzle mechanics there, very very fun to do with a group of people watching.
Right. All right. Next up, we go to Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. That is a long title.
You can connect with a net battler on the other side of the planet whenever you want. Cyber Society sure is something.
New features? What they got new? Okay.
I think one of the things about Battle Network that to me never appealed to me is that it looks so different.
All right. Yeah. This is the point in like kind of got a little bit like Pokemon-esque.
Yeah.
Digimon, I should say. That was the whole thing that drew me into the anime for this particular iteration. Like the main character, he's a regular human being, and then like Mega Man is digitized, and then there's other Mega Man, but they're not him. You know what I'm saying? Like there's villains and like his friends are Mega Man people as well. But then like this is the character, the main character walks around with this little reader thing, and he can like buy chips in the real world that like alter his Mega Man. So it's like, oh, Mega Man need a bigger blaster for this one bad guy. They throw in a chip and like, it's it's like Digimon,
Gotcha.
but Mega Man version. But yeah, this look like the game I remember.
Okay.
Look like what I'm familiar with.
For all you Battle Network fans, your prayers and yells have been answered by the Capcom gods.
We'll see. We shall see.
All right. Next up is, well, not really oldie, but again, we've talked about before, but now is coming to new platforms, new ways to play. Let's look at Ghostwire Tokyo.
Let's. Okay, that's all we need, I guess. Spider threat update. Okay, so I like that.
I'll say this one. This is one of the things about Ghostwire, and I know we said this last year too. It just looks so different than anything that's out there.
Yeah. Like first person shooter magic style action kung fu. I don't have that.
Right. I don't know how well it did on PlayStation, but I'm assuming it did well. I don't know. It really, because it had that delay as well. You didn't hear as much about it compared to say Deathloop.
Yeah, I agree.
Deathloop got talked about a lot. I think it wasn't a running for Game of the Year when it came out that year, something like that. No, it got a lot of accolades, and Ghostwire, especially because they had delay, it kind of slipped under the radar as far as sort of fanfare is concerned. I assume, again, I may be wrong, that it didn't find a large audience. It probably found a good audience on PS5, but I feel like, especially compared to a sister title Deathloop, it didn't find a large audience. So maybe this is the opportunity for the right audience to find this game on Xbox and on PS Plus as well as Game Pass.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully, that'll do some Much needed. Well, hopefully that'll change things for the game, because I think it's a really good idea for them to include that extra piece of content that they mentioned at the end of the trailer, that whole spider thread thing or whatever. Because the people who did enjoy the game when it first came out, they'll definitely double back for it. Because I mean, like I said, I played the demo and I've watched people stream it on Twitch. Like, it's a really good game. Like, it's very well crafted. The what do they call it? The little system where you can upgrade your character with different like spells and stuff is pretty like simple, but still like unique and complex in its own way. Like, I think this would be a nice little breath of fresh air to get people talking about the game again, at least talking about it.
Right. So Brian, that's all the games we got this week. What's going on with you?
So I just put out an episode a few days ago. My Dreamville Festival recap and some other things in there as well. Currently writing the next episode. Don't have much written down yet, but that will be coming when it comes. Other than that, I bought a new game yesterday, and I've just been kind of playing that a little bit. This Marvel's Midnight Sun, I finally purchased it, and I'm enjoying it so far. So that's pretty much it. What about yourself?
Side note, I got a recommendation based on Marvel. So
okay,
we know that Avengers, the online portion, is dying September 30th.
Right.
Okay. Right now, it's on sale on Xbox for $7.99.
Oh.
And all of the content that was behind a paywall before is now free and up for grabs.
Yeah.
So take advantage of it. At the time of this recording, I believe it's on sale for the next 10 days and maybe 9 days today. I'm not sure of what PlayStation is doing, because right now Xbox is running their spring sale. But definitely check it out. It's a flawed game, but for $7.99.
I mean, it's definitely worth that.
It's worth the $7.99.
Yeah, and this is coming from somebody who paid full price for the game when it came out. That was like a birthday gift to myself. That it's a good game. It just,
had its issues.
They got a little lazy.
Yeah. So I wanted to make that recommendation since you talked about Midnight Suns and brought that up, was getting yourself a new game. For me, it's a whole lot going on, a lot of interviews happening. I don't even know what I'm putting in the podcast next week. I got look, by the time I sit down to record the podcast, I would have had 1, 2, 3, 4 additional interviews. That's 3 of which will probably be on the web by then, maybe all 4. So it's just a lot going on over here. We busy. But it's going to be some great interviews, fragrance content. I think I'm talking about Black Orchid on the next podcast, Tom Ford's Black Orchid. So if you're interested in what that smells like, stay tuned. Yeah. And maybe some additional stuff coming too. I got a lot of content, I try to keep things short. So especially with all my interviews and putting those on the podcast, we might have to do some special episodes as well. So look out for more content from Sotorio and Geek. But of course, you're currently, we're nerds. Side note, talking about nerds, I rewatched. This is not video game related, but we're nerds, so I got to talk about nerds. And if you're a true nerd, if you really believe you're a nerd, you've seen Revenge of the Nerds, and you've seen Revenge of the Nerds
absolutely
probably more times than you can count.
Yeah, everybody loves the classic scene.
That movie would never fly today, and there's so many things wrong by today's standards.
Yes.
That movie.
But it's so good, and
it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, if you're a nerd, you haven't seen Revenge of the Nerds, then you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yes, a definitely disservice. So with that, don't have us take revenge on you. Follow us on Twitter at the NRW, on Instagram and News Wednesday. Of course, like, share, and subscribe, or else we're going to get Ogre to come get you.
Exactly. Do as he says now. That's all you got to do.